G, what's one of yours? Oh, on the spot! Come on, guys! Aren't you guys like the best in the Philippines? Jeez! Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is a very new setting. I'm in Zest Power Gym with two very strong Filipinos right here. And yes, in the previous video, almost everyone has been asking if I'm Filipino. Yes, I'm Filipino. They too are also Filipino. So today, we're going to be talking about different topics that was brought to my attention through Instagram. I asked a lot of people what other facts they'd want to talk about. And today, I have two very special guests. Two people who have been in the fitness industry, the lifting industry of the Philippines for, I would say, well over a decade at this point for both of them. I guess so. But okay, let's let Raymond introduce himself first.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Raymond Debuque. I've been lifting for a little bit, close to 20 years now.
20 years.
And I've been coaching for around 5 years and powerlifting.
Okay, so that the audience knows how strong are you? What's your best raw squat, bench, and deadlift?
So I squatted 285 kilos, benched 190 kilos, and deadlifted 705 pounds or 320 kilos.
So yeah, that's a shit ton of weight. Next,
okay.
We have Mr. Can you?
Yeah. So hi guys, I'm Ghee Rodriguez. So I've started in the strength sports as a strongman competitor 4 years ago, and eventually competed in powerlifting.
Okay. What are your best squat, bench, deadlifts, like all time?
All time deadlift 285, bench 145. Squat 235.
Alright, so these two fellows are obviously really strong. My numbers aren't that impressive next to theirs, so that's why I'm not even going to mention it. So these guys are really up here in the fitness industry when it comes to the Philippines, specifically the strength industry. And today, they'll be helping me out when it comes to answering these questions that I got through my recent Instagram post. So I asked people to send me questions or like non-negotiable fitness facts that they think that absolutely cannot be debunked. So the three of us, we're going to talk about it. If we think that they're actually non-negotiable, if we think they're full of shit, or if we think that maybe it's a gray area kind of thing. All right, so the very first question we have from Daki. She asks, or she says, abs are made in the kitchen. How do you feel about that, knowing that these two fellows obviously have six-pack abs themselves? How much do you believe in it, or do you say that it's
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, people have thought that abs are like just do some ab exercises. There's more truth to it than you think, that abs are made in the kitchen, because you need to, most of the time, this is for the general population. Most of the time, your abs aren't visible just because there's a layer of fat covering it. No,
that's true. So, like, I guess there's another saying that we can add to that. Abs are made in the kitchen, but they're also built in the gym. Because if you don't actually have those pronounced abs, or for the Filipinos, if you don't have that pandesal on your stomach, no matter how lean you are, it won't be that pronounced. So I guess this is true. Like, abs are made in the kitchen, but what do you say?
Big question lang. Like, if you say abs, anong definition of abs? Because everybody has abs, right?
That's true.
So regardless of if you're fat or overweight or like mas mataas yung body fat compared to the skinny guys, everybody still has abs. So yung definition siguro nung abs nila is
six-pack maybe?
Six-pack na labas. So
yeah.
So you really have to define that.
Kailangan yung define eh. Pero yeah, we get a lot of those questions na abs are made are they made in the kitchen?
Are they made in the kitchen? Yeah. It's never black and white, guys.
Yeah, so yes, abs are made in the kitchen, but of course you do have to work them out as well. So when we say in the kitchen, we obviously mean your nutrition. Obviously, if your nutrition is crap, obviously you're not gonna get the abs that you would want. Next up, we have from somebody very dear to Raymond, from Bibo. That's his physical therapist who healed his knee, or like helped heal his knee.
It's magic.
He didn't say it that much. He gave the acronym CICO. So that's basically calories in, calories out. Is that okay? G, what do you feel about that? Is that non-negotiable, that when it comes to weight management, it's really all about calories in, calories out?
I think kasi parang I would like to think the body as a engine or a parang kotse siya. So basically, if you want to run the car, you have to fuel it with gasoline or diesel, right?
Exactly.
So in layman's term, yun yung energy source for me, and that's food. That's the calories you take in. So Kung hindi mo magagamit yung gas na nilagay mo dun sa kotse mo, aapaw at aapaw lang siya. Hence, kung sa tao mo siya ilalagay, it will add up to fat and unused calories, unused energy.
Yeah, the body is really efficient. It just stores energy. All the energy you pump in, it actually wants to store it for later.
Yeah. All right, so the three of us, we do agree that Bibo, calories in, calories out, your statement does pass. Next, we have from Lyleman, blood work. Having, oh, actually, it's very similar. All these questions are very similar. Having six-pack abs, but you have high blood sugar, blood pressure, your resting heart rate is high. Basically, even though if you have a six-pack ab, you aren't healthy. And I guess I think that's really non-negotiable. You might be really lean, but if everything else in your body is, you know, degrading or degrading, you're obviously not healthy. So I guess we can all immediately agree with that.
I'd agree with that, for sure.
Oh, okay. This one's now from my friend Ariel. If the bar ain't bending, you just pretending. How true is that? So,
ano pag stiff bar yung ano mo?
Well, I guess you're still pretending. Okay, next one. Oh, actually,
using a stiff bar, you get up to 300 kilos. It doesn't bend.
And I guess you're not lifting enough. It has to be 350 though.
Yeah.
Next one is bacon good. Is that
Hell
non-negotiable? That bacon is good?
Non-negotiable.
Hell yeah, dude, hell yeah. Okay. I think that's the best one that we have here on this list. Bacon is good. No denying that. Oh, this one you might talk about a bit more. Clean eating, and that's all she said. But I'm guessing that basically she means that to be healthy, you have to only eat
clean.
First of all, I don't think we're the right panel to ask when it comes to clean eating. But I guess if you guys can relate it to the calories in, calories out.
Clean eating is the easiest, it's the easiest, essentially. It's the easiest way to cut on calories. Okay, so that's plain and simple. But is it the most sustainable? Yeah.
Exactly. And actually that's really true. Even though if something can be quote-unquote optimal, if it's not sustainable, then it's basically pointless. Like if you're able to do optimal for 2 weeks or 2 months, it won't even matter if you're not going to sustain it in the long run.
Dude, I mean, let's talk about clean first, because
what does clean mean?
Clean, right?
When you just Lysol it?
No, I mean, no, hell man.
What does dirty mean?
Come on, man. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for example, why do you want to brand something as clean? If it's just chicken breast, it's considered clean, right? But then you can also do beef, but if your calories are the same, it's still, I don't think
there's
branding food clean or dirty is actually a good idea.
And
in
actually,
the
I
first
think
place.
it has a lot of negative things because when people eat, I guess a quote-unquote bad food or dirty food would be, what do you call this, fries. I mean, fries definitely pack a lot of calories. Absolutely, no one's gonna deny that. But then, if you're able to match it in or to keep it underneath your calories, you are still going to your maintenance calories. You're still
for sure.
Generally gonna lose weight. For sure, you could have benefited a bit more from eating something cleaner. But that doesn't mean that, hey, the moment you ate two fries, that doesn't mean that your fitness
your diet's destroyed. No,
Yeah, it's not an all or nothing. It's really just matching everything in. Right?
I have a take on it. So actually, I do agree na at the end of the day, it should be sustainable. But para sa akin, at the end of the day, it should be sustainable to the person. Kasi I know some people na can do flexible dieting or like just calories in, calories out, with a good quality of food, a little bit of junk, and a little bit of, and a chunk of good. Pero meron din kasing iba na mas nakakapag-stick sila dun sa maintenance or goal calories nila each and every day by eating clean. Because it's comfortable and mas ano sa kanila, mas comfortable sila na kainin yung paulit-ulit other than kakain sila ng iba kasi dahil malulost track sila for some reason, but nade-deprive sila. So mas gusto nilang, they could stick a bit longer or like they could sustain it. They could sustain the eating clean versus the flexible dieting. Pero I'm not saying na hindi siya stable, but I know some people na they do binge on a certain day, but they do on track. They do get on track on normal days. Yeah, mas nag-work.
I guess that's true because I guess what we can close on that part is that the clean eating works. We can agree the clean eating works, but then you have to pick the diet that you yourself, your own dynamic, your everyday life, what you can actually sustain for yourself. A lot of diets work for sure. Different methods can achieve the same thing,
for sure.
But you just have to pick the method that works works the best for you.
Yeah.
I guess that's what we can agree on.
Yeah, I always tell people that ask, oh, how do I lose weight? I mean, you have to know yourself. Do you want to binge or do you like to taste a little bit of something every once in a while?
Exactly. It's more and to find that out, it's really trial and error.
Yeah, it's trial and error.
It's not like, oh, my coach said this, then this is how I'm gonna live for the rest of my life. No, it's really, okay, let's try this out. Doesn't work. Let's try something else until you find out what actually works for you, what you can be sustained with. That's we can end that. This next one, for my friend Julio, this is something I'm pretty sure that none of us are really familiar with. So I'm not sure how we're gonna answer this. The Wim Hof Method. Are you guys even familiar with the Wim Hof Method?
What is the Wim Hof
Wim Hof
method?
is one of these. I don't know how else to phrase him. He's this guru that you would find in Iceland or some European country. Basically, he's promoting breathing, like very intentional breathing meditation throughout your day. And I guess for us, it's hard for us to talk about because I'm not even that familiar with. But anyway, his breathing methods are so strong or so influential that it makes you immune to some diseases.
Oh no!
And then I know, like, wait, hold on. When I first thought about that, it's like, well, this is some guru shit. Like, is that even true? But then I'm not familiar, so I'm just speaking from what I know. But lab tests were run. The control group that did his methods, like he guided these people, and then again, I'm not so sure with the specifics, but apparently these breathing methods, these meditation methods, was able to make people more immune to certain diseases or certain sicknesses.
Okay, so I want to approach this in a scientific way, So whenever something new surfaces, you have to perform experiments for it.
Yeah.
Now, you have to compare it. Whenever you discover something, you have results. For example, you have a paper, you published it, and it says, this breathing method improved this parameter for health. You want to test, you want to compare it with other studies done before it, comparing the other parameters that might have affected that outcome. For example, so I have a new breathing method. What we know for a fact right now is that stress in general actually has very detrimental effects to our health.
Yeah.
So if you breathe properly, we know that proper breathing actually relieves stress, right?
Yeah.
The deep breaths, it's a proven way to relieve anxiety and everything. So what if the actual benefits of the Wim Hof method was from you can achieve it by actually just performing stress relieving breathing, which has been proven for already a long time,
and not necessarily his method. Maybe
not
just
necessarily
being more intentional with your breaths. Maybe, okay, that's actually a good point. That maybe it's not exactly his entire brand or his entire method that every day one, day two that he prescribed. Yeah, sure, that's great, but that might not be because of it. Because how it's programmed or designed. Maybe it's because the person just breathing a bit better.
Yeah, sometimes it's just you doing something consistently that actually might just help.
Yeah.
Right?
But again, this topic, none of us are really familiar with it, so just take everything that we're saying with a grain of salt. The next one is, okay, I think you guys, because these two are actually coaches, just to be clear with that. This one from Kiko Banal, he says, deloads are essential, especially when training hard and training smart. What do you agree? Disagree?
Ooh. Okay, so this is a hot take, right?
I am.
No. This is a hot take. So deloads, definitely you'll need to deload once in a while because it's necessary. But do we have to have a program deload? So there's a lot of training methods that do not incorporate planned deload, right? I personally do have a planned deload in my programming into some athletes, but some athletes I don't prescribe it just because their recovery and fatigue is much more unpredictable because they're working or they're studying or working graveyard shifts. I do tend to program more auto-regulated stuff for them.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes it just doesn't click in the gym and you have to deload right there and then. Right then and there, yeah.
If the body asks for a deload, give it a deload. So pero yun nga, katulad ng sabi ni Raymond, hindi naman pare-parehas ng lahat ng athletes, hindi pare-parehas sa atong tao. So if sometimes yun nga, may athletes na auto-regulated lang, since yun yung nag-work sa schedule nila, they can't really comprehend on the daily training na RP based.
Yeah,
so then they really on the person.
Most
it's really on the person, I guess, like when you want to plan it or not. But of course, like what you said, you really have to listen to your body. If you feel like all your joints are aching, you have a hard time getting out of bed, then you might, I think you have to tell your coach that, coach, I think I need a deload.
Yeah.
Of course, auto-regulation is basically on a weekly or daily basis. Okay, so yeah, deloads are essential to some degree, to their specific ones. Okay, so next one, we actually have 4 remaining left. All right. Actually, like, this is from Gio Abeleda. He basically says, and it's something we talked about, calories reign supreme. And I guess we already talked about. So yeah, nice one, Gio. We already talked about calories. Then, returning the weights give the best gains.
Oh man,
that's so true.
That's
so true. That's why I see a lot of skinny guys in the gym because they don't return their weights.
They don't return your weights.
But I guess now with quarantine, we're not going to see that much.
100% scientific. 100%.
All right, this is actually, I'm skipping over one because it's another repeat. Our very last one is actually from Raymond himself. He actually didn't know that he was going to be part of this video, but he actually sent in an entry. All right, so Raymond says, okay, so I guess since Raymond's the one who gave this question, G should be the one to answer it. So, progressive overload trumps all other concepts tenfold.
Oh, progressive eh. Yun yung basic eh.
Yeah, dude.
You can't break basics.
Yeah.
So, para sa akin, siya naman yung foundation ng like one of the foundations of strength training, strength and conditioning. So, yeah, for me, it reigns supreme.
Yeah, dude.
Diba?
And why I said tenfold, I mean, not literally, you can't measure it, but yeah. It's, if you don't overload progressively, regardless of what you do, you're not gonna make any gains. Because your body will out-adapt anything you put into.
Misconception kasi ng iba, man, like, pag sinabong progressive overload, gusto nila hit agad ng like, if I'm hitting like 300 now, dapat mag 305 or at least 301.
No, dude.
Pero gains yun eh, like, at least baka 1 rep more ka.
Yeah.
Or like, whatever.
Or like a better RPE.
Exactly, mas mabilis.
Yeah,
that's true.
Just,
but I guess something that we also have to understand, it's very different. Your training age is really going to dictate, because if you're an absolute beginner versus, example, you guys who are up there already when it comes to the elite level, Philippine standard boys. I do have to say that.
True.
It's really cool. But obviously, Raymond, sir, what was your bench again? What's your best bench?
It's 190 kilos.
190 kilos. That's really impressive. But when you started out, what was your first, sir, from when you started lifting 100 kilos all the way to 150, I'm pretty sure that time frame was a lot shorter compared to 150 to 190.
100 to 150 took like 4 years.
4 years. How long did it take you from 150 to 190?
It's 8.
8 years. Shoot. That's double. So again, that's exhibit A right there. That your training age will really dictate how far you can actually progress, like the progressive overload in essence. So if you're a beginner, obviously progressive overload intervals might be a lot faster. Maybe in the next week, the next session, next month, you can easily add weight on the bar, add number of sets, reps. But down the line, you might have to really spread that goal of adding 5 pounds or 5 kilos a bit more, like months or years.
Yeah, take care of your joints, kids.
Okay, so very, very important. So actually, that's all we have right now. But I'll ask you guys, what are some non-negotiable fitness facts that we might have missed out on this list? G, what's one of yours? Oh, on the spot. Come on, guys. Aren't you guys like the best in the Philippines? Jeez. Jeez, sorry for bringing these guys. Okay, I'll start. No matter how well your calories are, like how well you're able to track your calories, how well training is, if you don't get enough sleep, obviously that's not gonna work out for you. That's one big tenement when it comes to, one big pillar when it comes to fitness. Whether even though if you're a powerlifter, bodybuilder, CrossFit, or CrossFit's like a, it's in the down though. We shouldn't say the C word, but any performance-related, actually even fat loss-related goal, if you don't get enough sleep, you're really not getting the best progress. I guess we can all agree with that, how important sleep is.
I'm gonna do a hot take on that. Actually, how much sleep?
Ooh.
Yeah, because we say sleep is good, but then people are
Exactly how much, right? That's what we're...
if you get 5 hours or 6 hours of sleep. So not all people can sleep like 8 hours a day. So
Yeah.
some people have jobs and other double jobs or someone. So how much should you aim for just to make gains? Because some people
gain.
say, oh shit, I can't sleep, so therefore I shouldn't even try. Yeah,
So
that's a good point, right?
What range would you feel like
Yeah,
is okay for most people? I know everyone's different, but I guess just for the sake of the audience, we do have to give a general range for them to live with.
So for sleep, if someone, let's not try and count his hours of sleep. So let's say he can only get maximum 5 hours.
All right.
You don't necessarily need to recommend him to sleep more than that. You just have to adjust his training and nutrition just to accommodate that 5 hours of sleep. Because right now, because he can't afford to sleep more, right? For example.
Exactly.
So of course, the best option is to, hey, you should sleep more. But if he can't, what should you do? Should he just stop lifting? No. You can adjust his training to accommodate that handicap recovery. Yeah.
That variable. I guess that's really true. If one variable is a bit affected and it can't be helped, you have to make sure that the other variables are well accounted for, just to make sure. Obviously, not all of us can have like perfect sleep, perfect eating, perfect training, but as much as possible, we'd want to maintain some level of degree or some level of maintenance when it comes to them.
Yeah.
All right, so I gave one. Can you guys give something?
No.
What's yours?
Rice is not the enemy.
Rice is not the enemy. Okay, that's good. That's a good one. Especially in the Philippine environment, the Philippine culture.
Rice is not the enemy.
Exactly.
Rice
So
is not the enemy. I agree.
When did you guys realize, or like, okay, what's a good question? Because obviously, like, since we started lifting, we realized that for ourselves. But all right, here's a good question just to ask. What was the most infuriating moment when you're trying to describe or explain to someone that rice isn't the enemy? Like, what is a negative moment? It can be your mom, because I had a hard time explaining that to my mom. What was the most infuriating moment? Like, this is not just for the sake, this is just for our entertainment. What was the most infuriating moment when you were explaining to someone that rice or carbs isn't the enemy?
Dude, I have a plethora of stories. Dude, I mean, the worst one is actually my dad.
Oh, okay.
Because
that's hard.
So this is the thing. This is the thing. So if you know my dad, he's a hard ass. Old school.
Old school. Okay, I think that's a better way to phrase it.
Yeah, balls to the wall, go hard or go home type of guy. So when he finds out something is good, he's gonna go to the extreme, and he's gonna prove that it's the best thing. That's the only way. That's the only way you can do something. So when he found out about the keto, low carb IF group, dude, he jumped on that train so hard, and even if I was trying to explain the concepts, he was throwing studies at me about the low carb diet results and everything. I mean, those studies were studies, and that's good. But then, as I told you earlier, you have to compare it with all
other studies, what are the factors, etc.
Yeah, all the pooled studies about nutrition, and compare why does it work, why does it not work. Yeah. So that's one of the things. So
it was your stories, your heated arguments with your dad.
It hits home. It hits home, really.
All right. So he gave one, I gave one, Raymond. So we can end this video. Let's go. Come on, man. You've been in the industry for 20 years. Okay, man.
Top of my head.
You're a smart guy. 20 minutes later.
Oh my God.
You get on SpongeBob.
Yes, cute SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I swear, this is probably like one of the strongest Filipinos ever. He's probably like, on the top of my head, like what, top 3 Filipino, probably right now, top 3. Jeez. Oh man. I guess he spoke so much more.
No. It's bars and plates are enough.
Bars and plates are enough. Okay.
No fancy equipments.
Okay, I guess that's it. we can rephrase that as another fact that basics can really take you. Actually, I think I missed that question. Yeah, I know Gio said that pala. Right, basics can work for everyone and for the most part already. Because a lot of people, I guess I'll be the one to answer for that. A lot of people are super focused or super hungry for the next fitness exercise or the next product. Equipment, right?
Yeah.
Equipment. With an S. But what do you call this? As cool as those equipments are, if you were to just stick with the basics, so whether that be body weight or just the basic compound barbell movements, it can definitely take you so far. I mean, as great machines would be, if you were to have a full-on cable machine, all those fancy selectorized machines at home, which is all great and all, but if you were to give a rack, a bar, a bench, and some plates to somebody at home, give them a solid, nice progressive overload program, make sure their sleep, make sure their nutrition is relatively on point towards that direction, you're probably going to be nearing intermediate and advanced level with just those things. You don't need those fancy equipment to become the top one lifter, I guess. If you were to ask any of the top lifters in any country, probably how they got there, like 98% of the progress was made through just regular reps, right? I guess one thing, I guess because you were exposed to this for quite a while, bands and chains are great, but straight weight are really can take you far. Since you're the one who has experience with bands and chains, can you let me, what do you feel about them?
I mean, I have 5 years of experience with West Side training. So
West Side training, basically.
The thing is, bands and chains, they were a good way for someone to not stop exerting force. So, for example, someone is doing a rep. When it's below, it's sub-maximal weight, so say that's 70%. People have a tendency to slow down or not recruit as much muscle fibers as they can, you know. So doing 5 reps on the 4th, 5th rep, they slow down because want to conserve energy for the next set. When you put bands and chains into that equation, people actually learn to exert more force as the bar goes up, do better leverages.
So yeah, but as great as that is, like as beneficial that is, straight weight for most, of 98% of people or 99% of the population will do.
So
really good.
This is the thing. So if you can lift with straight weights, it'll get you 99.9% of the way there.
Exactly.
So if you're stuck with doing just straight weight, I mean,
that's when you might want to.
That's for a long time, not just for a cycle. Because some other things might affect it. That's when you try the other methods.
Or if you have explored enough ways dun sa free weights mo.
Yeah.
Right? So there's many variations. Pause,
block,
sobrang dami. So akala kasi ng iba pag may new equipment, so ito na they're gonna jump into it. Pero hindi pa nila na-explore yung lahat ng variation na pwede lang gawin sa free weights nila.
Okay. That's actually a really good episode, but there's this one question that I want to ask G specifically. If there's a gun pointed to your head and you had to decide, you had to pick one K-drama to rewatch for the rest of your life and you can't watch anything else.
Man.
What's your answer?
Crash Landing on You.
Crash Landing on You. There you have it, folks. Ghee Rodriguez, big fan of Crash Landing on You. Raymond Debuque. I don't know what else to say about him. He's Raymond Debuque. Me, Ali Fuchu, thanks for watching. Sorry, what's your YouTube channel? He makes the best Korean recipes. What's your channel?
I have a YouTube channel. So ang content ko doon is full-on commentary, Korean cuisine, Korean cooking. Commentary siya. So it's Jesus TV Media. So just look it up. Link na lang ni...
Yeah, I'll link it in the description.
Link sa description box.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you want to watch Raymond and his lifts, you can find him. What's your Instagram?
I'm DBQ Powerlifting, at DBQ Powerlifting. It's my coaching account. So go shoot me a PM if you want coaching.
Okay, but your personal account is?
I am RG Debuque.
RG Debuque. So again, thanks for watching. And obviously, this was a very casual thing. If you guys like this type of videos where it's just 3 guys talking about whatever, both in English and Filipino, talking about Korean novellas and lifting at the same time, please do consider subscribing to the channel and really like the video. Hopefully, we can see these guys in future videos as well. See you guys. Say bye.
Bye.